This week's edition of NJBIA is Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. By PSE&G, powering a future where people use less energy that's cleaner, safer, and delivered more reliably than ever. By New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 67 years.
Welcome to NJBIA's Minding Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, last week, NJBIA held its annual Public Policy Forum, a jam-packed, sold-out event in Princeton that featured a very inspired keynote speech from Governor Mikie Sherrill. And as you'll hear from the new governor, she plans on bringing a more pro-business administration to Trenton, and she says it'll be anything but business as usual. Have a look and a listen.
So yes, as you just heard and maybe noticed, I got into office, and I think 4 or 5 days after I took the oath, we had the storm of a decade. And I often say to people, you know, that's what I grew up doing, is crisis management. When you're on a Navy ship, you're planning for a bio attack or a chem attack or a nuclear attack or all three, and pirates attacking. So you're constantly crisis managing. But as I was going through the storm, I thought to myself, you know, it's really made me good at this chaos is being a mom of 4 kids. That's what really gets you in chaos management. But we got through that, and it was so kind of you, Michelle, to mention that we got through that well, but it really wasn't me. It was the troopers, it was the Department of Transportation, it was the DPWs, it was your public servants across New Jersey working their butts off for all of you to make sure we could get those roads clear so commerce could go through our state, so people could get back to work as quickly as possible. And in order for you to get back to work, for many of you, so your kids could get back to school as quickly as possible. And then all of you stayed off the streets, which I want to thank you for, because that enabled us to plow and salt and make sure we were doing everything we could to serve you to the best of our ability. So I really appreciate everybody coming together on that heavy lift. So I've been governor for 10 days now. It's, been great. Thank you. And we've had 9 executive orders, 2 of which took place in the middle of my inaugural address, because I promised to the people of New Jersey, I promised to many of you that I was not going to accept the status quo, that we were going to move quickly to drive costs down, and really to address some of the key problems I had heard from so many people across our state. From a lot of middle-class families, certainly affordability was the #1 issue. And that impacts the cost of energy. Doesn't just impact our families, it impacts business owners as they are trying to manage their costs. And yet what I also heard again and again, particularly from the business community, was that in many cases it was just too hard to do business here, that the regulations, the red tape, the bureaucracy, the stovepiping of organizations going to one part of government requiring one thing, and then the next part requiring almost the same thing as I always say when I was overseas serving, and I would go to a small shop to buy something, and I'd say, I want this, and they'd hand me something, and I'd say, that's different, and they go, oh, it's same, but different. I feel like a lot of our departments are same, but different, right? You have almost 80% of the form you're filling out is like the next form you have to fill out, but slightly different, so you can't quite have them work together. So we heard you. And you heard from Michelle that we've done a lot of work. We did a lot of work in my congressional office with the business community, and particularly with the challenges of COVID. And one of the people that was so central to that was my then district director, Kelly Doucette. And she is very familiar to many of you in this room and worked long and hard. So when I heard about what we needed to do to make our cabinet work better together, to make the different departments work together better, to come together to serve all of you better, I knew that we needed two things. We needed a chief operating officer. We needed somebody to manage all of these organizations and bring them together better. And the second thing I knew was that we needed Kelly Doucette to be that chief operating officer. So she's here today, and I'm so thrilled. That was one of my executive orders, was to create that role. That is a new role for our state. We've seen it in other states, and we've seen it working quite well in making government function better, and that is her job. If history is any proof, she's going to be quite good at that job, and I'm really excited to get this going. Because I want our government to work better for you. I think there is a sense, and I've even shared that sense, that Trenton doesn't like business. And I think in some cases, that's not quite true, but what is true is maybe Trenton doesn't always have the engagement with business that we need to make sure that we're understanding the benefits that you bring to so many people, the jobs, the opportunities, and how, if you are a public servant, that getting small businesses up and running as quickly as possible is really serving the public quite well, because that's jobs and opportunities across our state. So we are going to work to truly make sure that sign in Trenton, Trenton makes the world takes, that we are advocating for the businesses who make that sign a reality, who make sure that we are creating innovation, that we are creating opportunity across our state, because we have such incredible potential here. Now, we do have challenges. I think there was one report that said we're the 49th in the country as far as business friendliness. That's not acceptable. That is not where you want what, if we were a country, we would be the 22nd largest economy in the world. That is not where you want us to be. We want to open the door for opportunity here in our state, and that's where all of you come in. We've got some challenges. This is the first time I've seen the federal government attacking states in the way we're seeing, and it's especially hard for a state like New Jersey that gives $70 billion more to the federal government than we get back. So if we are seeing threats to the Gateway Tunnel project, which could be about 100,000 jobs in our region, about $20 billion worth of further investment in economic growth. And we know that Hudson River Tunnel paves the way for so many more people to get great jobs here and in New York City. So we've seen that threat. If we see the federal government not funding much of the healthcare systems that they are on the hook for, or the education systems that they should be funding, if they are sending troops to the streets, not just to create fear in our populations, but then also to see the impact on businesses. We've seen hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue across the country at risk because people aren't coming to work. Even people who are here legally, people who are US citizens, not coming to work when those threats are out there. We are seeing businesses really looking, for example, in Minneapolis and saying, can we really work here? How stable is this place? So we need to make sure here in our state that we are doing everything we can to create opportunity, innovation, and to find a different path forward. So when we see a lot at risk, we will be doing several things. We're already in discussions with the Attorney General and with our state law enforcement and others to make sure people feel safe here, that they feel safe, they understand the rules of the road, what they can do, how they can keep themselves and their families safe as they go to work and go to school, so we can continue to build opportunity and continue to build our economy here in the state as we're seeing the jobs numbers across the country really at risk. We're continuing to take the federal government to court to claw back as much revenue as possible, to continue investing in our state, continue the Gateway Tunnel project. I believe we will see some court responses from the Gateway Development Court if that money is continued to put at risk. We are continuing to work with other states across the nation as we chart paths forward for broad expansion of state power, so we can really make choices on how we are going to drive our economy forward and create those opportunities. And while a lot of this is uncharted territory, and a lot of this could be a struggle, what we have here is something that most states don't. We have an incredibly educated workforce. We have connections across the world. We have great corporations here that are driving our economic output. We have the ability to be nimble and to chart a path forward, and I think can be a real leader in new spaces. We see some of our hubs out of Princeton and Rutgers and other areas as we're driving the economy forward. We have some of the most nimble community colleges as we are standing up new ways of educating people and stacking degrees and creating the workforce of the future. So here's what I ask from all of you. We need all of you here to continually engage with the members of this government so that we can help chart that path forward. We do our best work, not when we sit in Trenton and behind closed doors and come up with great ideas. We do our best work when we're out across New Jersey speaking to each and every one of you and hearing, hey, is this policy working? Is this getting us what we thought it would? Many of you were on our transition team. It has been marvelous. That's what a lot of our executive orders were built on, was the thought and engagement that many of you had from your work on the ground. We want to continue that conversation. We want to know if we are moving forward with these executive orders, are they doing what we think they're doing? And if they're not, how do we fix it? So that is my ask to all of you. Please remain engaged. My commitment to all of you is that myself and my team will be that kind of government that you know is serving you, that you know you can get a meeting with us. You know our doors are open. You know who to go to when you have a problem. I can't promise you we're always going to agree. I can promise you that we're always going to hear you out, and we're always going to act in the way that we think is going to get the best results for everyone. I will let you get in touch with some of the legislators and some of the mayors and some of the commissioners on both sides of the aisle from my old congressional district. There were a lot of areas we disagreed on, but we really pushed forward on those areas we agreed on, when we could address those key concerns of businesses and families in the district together. So that's what we're looking for. That's what I hope to build. And that's why I'm so excited to be in this room today, because I'm looking across this room, and this is the future of our state. You are the future of the state. You are the people who are going to make sure our kids succeed. You are the ones that are going to drive innovation. You are the ones that are going to help map out how we are going to handle AI and the disruptions there, but still feeding a workforce. You are the ones that are going to help us figure out what families need as far as childcare and how we invest in that, as far as education, as far as degrees, so that we can feed your workforce. You in this room are the people that are going to make or break us. And I don't feel at all uncomfortable. I'm not at all concerned, because I know so many of you in this room, and I know you're going to do a great job, and I know we're going to work incredibly hard to make sure that happens. So I want to thank you again. Michelle, thanks again for bringing us all together, and I look really forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
All right, thanks to Governor Mikie Sherrill for her words at NJBIA's Public Policy Forum. We'll be back right after this.
Did you know cleaning and tuning your furnace, burner, boilers, and flues can save you energy and money? Plus, there are rebates for that. Believe it. For more, connect at bizsave.pseg.com, your trusted partner in energy efficiency.
Welcome back to NJBIA's Mind Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. While Citizens Bank may be known for providing a best-in-class range of financial tools for small businesses, but Citizens is also helping some of these employers with its unique Jersey Shops community program in partnership with the New Jersey Devils. We spoke to Citizens Market Executive for Business Banking Nuno Francisco about the program and what small businesses can look forward to in the new year. Nuno, welcome. And before we talk about the Jersey Shops program presented by Citizens, let's talk about 2026. What can small businesses look forward to this year?
Yeah, I think we're currently in a state of a lot of things happening at a macro level, right? Mm-hmm. Specifically here in New Jersey, we've got a change in administration. I think there's a little bit of an outlook there from businesses as to what is going to perhaps impact their day-to-day operations. Right. But I think overall, it's a little bit about what's behind us from the tariff perspective. A lot of that in the markets, as you know, over the last 12 months or so. Yeah. Big conversation topic with our clients is certainly labor, right? Not only the cost of labor, but retaining good labor is something that is certainly top of mind with our customers. And then just an overall things of perhaps not, having a very strategic look on growth, but very fair growth over time. So not perhaps a boom of growth, but I think overall we're seeing positive trends, and customers are excited about activity, whether it's within industry, from an M&A lens. I think there's a lot to be told, and we're seeing a little bit of that in the market. But overall, good mix of hope and execution here in the next coming 12 months or so.
So what's your role at Citizens with small business? How do you work with them specifically?
Yeah, great question. So essentially, I lead our coverage team. So when you think about a business and them having a relationship manager that deals with the day-to-day needs of a business, that's the business that I lead. We call it our coverage teams, and then specifically the $1 to $50 million revenue space. So we could be facing off with a small business. We could be facing off perhaps with a second, third generation business in a family. And then we have some more perhaps mature businesses that are privately held that have the banking needs to have a function around deposits, lending, money movement. I think as technology has advanced in the last 15, 20 years in banking, the money movement of things seems to be a very, very important topic for business owners. How quickly can they execute payments? How efficiently? Obviously, the cost of things in doing business. So yeah, that's what we do. I always kind of like to use the line that I love for our relationship managers to really have a strong bond with their customers. I equate it to, I want our folks to have the relationship with customers where they're getting invited to their summer barbecues, that really, really friendly, get to know type of relationship, because as we all know, when things happen or something breaks, clients need that person to be able to lean on, to call on, and that's kind of like the focus that we're really trying to deliver on, is a best-in-class experience for our clients to be able to have somebody, no matter their size, right? Whether they're an entrepreneur and they sit with our small business team, they're perhaps with coverage in business banking, or a $200-300 million company, they're having somebody that they can lean on and have available to them in their business.
Very interesting. And I would have to ask this of you specifically, because it is fascinating to me. New Jersey as a place for business, what's unique about it? Is it all the rules and the regulations? Is that something you hear about? What else about New Jersey is G here? Yeah,
I mean, listen, the whole legislative process is certainly something that impacts and touches every single business across industry.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think is certainly key here, given the regulatory environment, that I think, more so than ever, I don't know that a family business that employs 5 or 10 people were that concerned about perhaps an employee handbook or having a good HR support.
Right.
Where today, that's like front and center of a business.
Yeah.
When we think about healthcare, benefits to the staff, a 401k
paid
plan.
Family leave.
Right, paid family leave, right? As I think we've been one of the states that's out front with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then just from a pure business perspective, when I think about Jersey and being a New Jersey guy through and through, I like to say to everybody, we're the envy of the world, right?
Yeah.
We have New York City in the background and all that brings to the table. But even when you think about trade and all that we do at the port, you have the seaport, you have the airport, you have Philly on the other side of the river. We talked about earlier, right? The opportunity to lead and be a leader in having farming opportunities in the state, right? So it's manufacturing, it's wholesale, it's the farming industry, professional services. Again, I'd like to say that Jersey's the envy of the rest of the country.
Right. Location.
That's right.
That's right. And didn't Citizens have their Business Pulse survey just come out recently? And what was the response?
Yeah, I mean, we just published the Q1 Business Pulse for small businesses. So we polled clients of the bank. And I think overall, as we think about what's coming here into the new year from an observation perspective, I think folks are optimistic. 64% of small businesses are expecting to see growth in Q1.
Good.
60% plan to deploy capital for their business.
Right.
So we're seeing folks become a lot more mindful to data and having a trusted partner in their bank, being able to execute a plan or deliver on what those thoughts are from a strategic priority for business owners as well. I think as we kind of look back and we look at what matters most to business owners, it's the things around efficiency, cost savings, and some of those things we talked about earlier on, around employment, labor, et cetera.
All right, so Nuno, I mentioned at the intro and at the start when we first started talking, Jersey Shops presented by Citizen. Tell the folks what this is, this program.
Yeah, so it's certainly one of my favorite times of the year. So we are the official bank partner of the New Jersey Devils, and all the fun that comes with that. There's actually some impact downstream to the business community in our partnership with the Devils. So essentially, Jersey Shops is a program where business owners can go onto the social platforms of the Devils or Citizens and apply for a grant. Okay. And essentially, we have, it runs through the hockey season. So we think about starting it off in Q4 in the fall when the hockey season kicks off. And then there's monthly award winners or campaign winners throughout the season. And then we kind of celebrate everyone throughout. So we crown 4 winners throughout the season. They get a $5,000 grant to help their business, whether it's to amplify their marketing, perhaps it's a piece of equipment that they need assistance with, et cetera. All of the winners also get a free membership to Luminary.
Luminary?
Yeah,
okay,
so Luminary is a
Luminary.
network of they're a strategic partner of ours, and they're essentially provide a network of benefits to business owners and do a lot around like thought leadership stuff, like helping folks create a business plan, how to set up for a sale, how to set up for expansion, how to kind of like walk through an acquisition. And that membership is paid for by Citizens as part of winning the grant.
Right.
But even for the folks that don't win the monetary contributions or the membership to Luminary, those folks are promoted not only on the Devils website, but throughout the year where we put their logos, their websites, and just create an amplification for the business owners. We host networking events at Prudential Center on game nights where we'll bring in the applicants. We invite them, right? And they have an opportunity to network, talk about their business, and just be with like-minded business and entrepreneurial folks, just to create that culture of embracing and amplifying their name and what they do.
Yeah.
It's something that we're in our 4th season now with the Devils. And it's really probably one of the most rewarding pieces of the job is to kind of be able to sit in with those folks and see how the money's impacting them, what their story is, kind of learn how they got into business. That's really the best part, is getting an understanding of under the hood, really what's going on with folks and how they're driving a success.
So that's great. So what is the kind of the criteria for getting the 4 winners, for lack of a better term, the ones that are selected to be promoted more? What's the criteria for it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's so much criteria. I think it's really about their story and which one drives the impact. And I think that's the beauty about this program, is that you could have, a yoga studio be a winner today, and then, the next winner is perhaps a florist, but somebody that's really driving impact and where, the $5,000 really do matter, and is creating an opportunity for their business.
Yeah, Nuno, I saw one of the winners, and I took some notes on it because it was great. Pencilworks Studios in Little Falls. And what I love about this video that was done for them, it's about 2 minutes long. It is a unique story, as you were talking about. And one of the things I thought grasped the kind of the spirit of small business in New Jersey was the woman said, the co-owner, we work 6 days a week and then on Sunday we're bored.
That's right. That's right.
So, do you get a lot of stories like that?
I mean, that is, I think, again, what is most rewarding about seeing that kind of impact and you seeing how somebody's story comes to life in an example like Pencilworks, where, this $5,000 perhaps gets them to that next step in marketing, or perhaps it allows for that temp person to be hired to help with an overload during seasonality within their business. So yeah, we think about stuff, and even some of the other things we do in community and how we touch customers. To your point, it's kind of hearing that story and understanding the impact that it has on the business. But from our lens and from the lens of the Devils, you think about curating a video like that, when, by the way, they're all very powerful, as I'm sure you saw. But normally the business owner wouldn't have the access to like a fully professionally curated video with content around their business. That not only now they can broadcast on their own, but you have the Devils showing that, you have us throughout the course of the season showcasing their businesses. So it really becomes a very, as I like to say, a very warm story for the business owner.
So Nuno, if folks want to apply to be part of this, how do they do it? Yeah,
so on the Devils website, the application link is there. It runs through the end of the season. So we're in another cycle now. It's NewJerseyDevils.com/Jersey Shops.
Jersey Shops.
And again, the application in itself is pretty simple for folks to complete. And then, our back office team that runs the program is quick to get in touch with all the applicants and then, shepherd them through the process.
Right. And the diversity of candidates must be insane, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I've walked into shops where I see so every person that applies through the program gets a really nicely, it's like a made in Jersey sticker. It's a huge sticker,
Yeah.
and it's got the Devils logo on it. And I've walked into shops and I see it, and it makes me feel really good, right?
Yeah.
Like, so here I am, like, walking in to support a business, whether I'm the dry cleaners or this one in particular was a bakery, and I see the logo on the door, and it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy, right? Like, we're driving impact to this place that here I am spending my dollars in, and it just brings it all together for me.
Nuno, I, as you were talking, I wanted to go back to when did Citizens kind of come to New Jersey? Since how long now?
Yeah, great question. So just about 3 years ago, Citizens acquired Investors Bank, which was a New Jersey headquartered bank, as well as some branches, essentially the East Coast business of HSBC.
Right.
So having a tremendous legacy market in Boston, a beautiful market down in Philly, out to Pittsburgh. We had this hole in the donut that we weren't serving, right? That greater New York, New Jersey geography. So with those two acquisitions, it gave us the right to be in market and really establish an opportunity for us to bring Citizens to this tremendous geography.
And about how many branches now does it?
Yeah, so just about 175 branches, thousands of colleagues in the area, which obviously is a plus for us as well as an employer. And just the ability to now deliver the best of Citizens to this general geography.
Right. And we talk about the best of Citizens. We've been talking about Jersey Shops. What other kind of programs are you doing for business in New Jersey?
Yeah, tremendous. So we have a couple of programs specifically for businesses. So for the not-for-profit community, we have our Champions in Action Award, where we work with not-for-profits throughout the year to look at and assess grant opportunities. And then we have our annual Small Business Community Champion Awards, which is for Citizens customers, where they also have the ability to come in and apply for some funding that can then benefit and better their business. And that also comes with the Luminary membership as well. So tremendous focus on us delivering to the business community in New Jersey, both for-profit and the not-for-profit space.
Yeah, and as you were talking, you just had an event for businesses like the night before we taped this segment here, right?
Yeah. So again, trying to bring a different lens from a bank into the business community and some thought leadership pieces, right? So yeah, yesterday in Morristown, we hosted just about 120 clients, and we essentially brought in some professionals. We brought in an M&A attorney. We brought in a CPA that's centered around M&A. We had a very robust discussion alongside our wealth partners around what exit planning looks like for a business, right? Whether you're preparing for an exit, whether you're in an exit, or perhaps you just went through it, and what does some of that post-transaction life look like? And really brought some amazing dialogue to the table. The audience was super engaged. Questions coming in when we were done, just about how folks should look at a transaction. Again, whether they're starting to plan, whether they're in it. We had one gentleman raise his hand and he was going through a sale right now. So being able to get that type of advice from professionals and folks that are in the space was something that certainly that we think adds value to the relationship that we have with customers.
Yeah, well, Citizens is really making an impressive footprint here in New Jersey. You mentioned the partnership with the Devils, also the official bank of the Prudential Center, the New York Giants. Great collaborators with the Junior Achievement New Jersey, and even here with us at NJBIA. So if you're a small business, give a look at everything Citizens Bank has to offer at citizensbank.com/small-business. Nuno Francisco, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us, Bob.
All right. Thank you for joining us on NJBI's Mind Your Business. We'll see you next time.
Jersey Shops is really about small businesses. It's an area that Citizens wanted to grow in, and it's an area that the Devils wanted to make an impact in for the community.
It's important to me that there are people out there that are supporting small businesses. This is something that can really help you if you just take a few minutes. Companies like this that are actually supporting us is amazing, and it's so helpful.
We really feel like we're making a difference with the heartbeat of New Jersey, which are really our small businesses.